can tell me what your vision or mission is, or even close to it. Tony?
Fair play, customer focus, innovation, and passion to win.
Okay, so fair play, customer focus.
Innovation.
Okay. That's your vision, isn't it? Yeah. Because the vision, do you know the difference between a vision and a mission? The mission is what you do. It's what you do. So a lot of missions are related to the product you produce. The vision's about the future, what you want to become, what you want to achieve, how you want to be seen. What about your own personal vision and mission? Do you have one? I heard it over here. Which one of you was it? Katie, are you willing to share it with us, or is it personal? Well, it can be personal. I realize that.
I don't mind sharing it.
Okay, so
My personal mission is to be the best at providing service and care to those that I come in contact with, and to leave a legacy.
okay. All right. And is that related to the nonprofit area? Weren't you in a nonprofit area? Is that related to that?
Not necessarily, no.
It's across the board.
Across
The board. All right. You might not have thought about phrasing it, but you probably have a vision or a mission for yourself right now, right, Grace?
It's finishing school and getting my APEX certification.
Okay. Finishing school and getting your what certificate?
APEX.
APEX certification. All right. Why do you suppose, we're talking about time management, why am I asking about vision and mission statements?
Because you have to know where you want to invest your time.
All right. How do I know where to invest my time if I don't know what the plan is? Now, if you look at my slide, what is that? Red dot. What is it now?
Bullseye.
Bullseye. It's a target. I need a volunteer who thinks that they can stand back here and, come on, Joe. Now, Joe, I want you to hit the target, but I want you
With
to
my
do
eyes
it-
closed?
No, but with your back to the target.
Oh, no.
Okay.
To face that way. All right, if you want to bounce it a few times, because it's a weird kind of ball, get a feel for it. And whenever you're ready, no, you can't look. You cannot look. Just go for the target. Howdy do, y'all. Why was it hard for him to hit the target?
His vision, he has no vision of what he's supposed to be in.
He doesn't know where he's going. He has no vision. Do you want to try again?
That might work.
Now he got a little bit better. What made the difference? Thank you, Joe. Give him a hand.
He's more focused on.
All right, he was more focused on it, but also what else happened?
He changed his technique.
He changed his technique. What did you change? What did you change?
I didn't throw it as hard,
Okay,
and I tried to make sure it went this way more than.
okay. So you realize on your first one that it went down off over there. So he knew I have to change the trajectory a little bit. It's okay to have a vision or have a mission or have a goal and change the trajectory if the goal's not working for you. But you need a goal. You need to know where you're going. We're in your book on page 6. If you're not sure where you're going, you're liable to end up someplace else. Right? What do you think happens at work if people do not have goals to focus on? A limbo, okay.
A lot of your efforts may be meaningless.
Meaningless effort, a lot of busy work. You ever had that person leave and the next person comes in and says, what did they do with their time all day long?
Oh my God, that's
So that's someone who possibly lacked goals so that they could achieve their work effectively during the day. If you don't have goals, you're not going to perform at your optimum efforts, you're going to possibly meander around, and when those interruptions occur or whatever, you're gonna run off, go down rabbit trails and things along those lines.
That's what I'm saying, I mean, they got goals, but when the second shift comes in, they look at it like, they don't know what happened during the day. They might have had something, like you said, take them off that day.
Mhm. Well, yes, and that is true. In business, our goals are gonna shift. A client needs something, they need it now. Our goal for production today might shift, but our goal, our end time goal, or not our end time goal, but our end of the day goal, or end of the week goal, or end of the month, or end of the quarter, or end of the year goals should all be focused on the right thing. That's how we know when we should shift, is to have our goals. Now, how many of you have set goals in the past? Okay. How many of you have written those goals down? Okay. Wow, that's a large percentage of the group. Normally I get maybe one person. Now, why do you suppose I asked, have you written them down before?
You're more likely to keep it if you write it down.
Right. If you're setting goals and you write it down, you are more likely to actually achieve that goal. You'll know. That's why the first time with the dot, not so good. But then the second time, you formed a goal in your mind. I need to change the angle here, and so he had goals on how to hit that target. And that's what our goal is primarily at work, is how to hit a target. Now, if you look in your book on page 7, it asks, it addresses how we create SMART goals. SMART goals. What do we mean by SMART goals? Has anybody ever heard that acronym before? Katie, you have? By the way, when I say acronym, what do I mean? Every letter stands for a word. So the S stands for something, the M stands for something, and so forth. If you want to write effective goals, you want to make them SMART. And so we want to explore what these different letters stand for. Now, what's a common goal a lot of people have?
Make a lot of money.
Make a lot of money. Okay, there you go. So a common goal would be make a lot of money. Is that a SMART goal? No, because, for one thing, it's not specific. What is a lot of money?
More than you had yesterday.
Okay, now that would be good for tomorrow, but is that a good long-term specific goal? I need to be specific with my goals. So for example, one of the things I might determine is how much money I want to save in a particular period of time. I want to save $10,000. So that's getting specific, but it's not specific enough yet because I haven't really come up with how I'm going to do that. It's fine and good to say, starting today, Katie, I'm going to start saving, I'm going to save $10,000. If that's all I ever say and all I ever plan,
You're not gonna save $10,000.
probably won't save $10,000. Why? What's missing?
Time frame.
Time frame. What else?
How you gonna?
How? How am I going to do it? I'm not specific enough. So what are some ways I could choose to save $10,000?
So you make some out at a certain amount.
You gotta set it.
That's it.
Savings plan?
Yeah.
Set aside, do a budget. Maybe set aside a certain amount of money out of each paycheck. Which, by the way, if y'all aren't doing it, you should be. You should be doing that. Minimum 10%. Minimum 10%. And if you can't afford 10% right now, start with something. And then when you get a raise, bump out that percentage. Every time you get a raise, bump up that percentage. Minimum of 10% is really what you should be doing. But you want to be specific about it. So every time I get paid, I'm going to take $100 and stick it in a savings account and not touch it. So we also, by doing that, I'm starting to make this measurable. $10,000, $100 per paycheck. Now you got to do the math at some point and figure out what the measure for that's going to be. In some cases, the measure is based on a project. And your measure has to do with how much you're going to produce, or what time frame you're going to produce it in, or how many clients you're going to attract. You were talking about your situation last week and the week before with the changing the time from information going into the system to being available in the system. That's a measurable item. So your specific and measurable goal. A stands for attainable. Now, this one means, how many of you have heard of the term stretch goal? How many have heard of that? It's common in manufacturing especially. Stretch goal means what?
That's your goal, but you can't do it.
Okay, that's your goal. You can go either way. Another way to look at stretch goal is make it something that's a little harder to get to, but that I can. I'm going to stretch a little bit. You ever seen them racing and the run, if they're neck and neck, what do? They stretch. Try to cross that line first. So you want that stretch goal where you maybe, I'm doing this, but can I do a little bit more? So maybe my attainable is $100 a check. Attainable. Tell a story on myself. How many of you know what I'm referring to when I say the freshman 15? What's the freshman 15? Tim, you're nodding your head.
The weight you gain your first year in school.
Yeah, when kids go off to college their freshman year, they are known to gain weight. Why? Mama's not there watching what they eat. And they call it the freshman 15. On the average, they gain something like that. So here I am, freshman in college, put on some weight. I'm going to lose this weight. So my goal was to lose the weight. Now, one, I had never heard of a SMART goal, so I didn't know how to be specific about it. I just knew I wanted to lose weight. But I was measurable about it because I was going to change my diet. Are you ready for this one? I was going to eat 1 banana a day. That's it. How attainable do you think that was?
Not.
One day.
How long do you think I lasted? Half a day. Lasted half a day. The irony is, years later, I discovered I'm allergic to bananas. Not a good choice, was it? But
You should lose weight easy because you're allergic to everything.
I know. You would think with all my food allergies, I would have no trouble losing weight. Not true. You can still gain weight. So, attainable. It's got to be something that, although it stretches you, it's beyond what you normally do, you still can attain it. This is the biggest issue I have when your boss creates your goals at work for you. How many of you have goals at work that were created by somebody else? Okay. Do they always create something that's attainable? Sometimes it feels like pie in the sky, doesn't it? They're looking at it and they're saying, yeah, you can do it. And in some cases, some people can. But in some cases, they maybe have tagged something onto somebody that's not going to work. Another reason it doesn't work when your boss does it is because you need relevance in your goal. If the goal doesn't matter to you, you're not going to do it.
I explained that to my manager because every year he gives us a goal,
Right.
but then he stretches every year. He goes that much further.
A little bit
And
further.
I said, you keep on. I mean, we already feel like we're doing the best we can. I mean, you keep on, we're just going to say,
He does that with our incentives.
exactly. We get a
We
quarterly
reach
incentive.
it. We get good incentives and they change them, straight.
They change them?
They stretch it.
So we
Well, if you
reach
make
that.
these goals and here, try to hit this, and
Yeah.
just get it to the point where, ain't no way we're gonna be able to do it. So,
Well, that is something, so they're making it unattainable, so to you it becomes irrelevant.
exactly.
It's an interesting balance, and that's why people should be involved in their work-related goals. Now, as a leader, you know where you want their goals to be. You can guide them to where you want it to be, but if they have a say-so in it, if they feel like they were part of that process, then it becomes more relevant to them. Now, the one thing y'all hit me on immediately when I said I want to raise a lot of money is this last one. It's got to have a time element to it. If I'm going to have a SMART goal, there needs to be deadlines. There need to be short-term and long-term deadlines. So it might be that I'm going to put in $100 a week, or however often you're paid, and then at the end of 6 months, reevaluate and see if maybe I can put in $110. Is there another way I can cut an expense somewhere else? but I have this time. And one of the things you want to do, and this goes back to kind of what you were talking about with your work goals, is the time should make sense. Is it a good idea to try to lose 25 pounds in a month?
And,
No. It should make sense. But you do need a time issue there. Otherwise, make a lot of money. If I don't have a time issue, well, I've still got time, don't I? We'll do that tomorrow. We're going to procrastinate on it, something we're talking about a little bit later today.